Okay, we shall begin. Coming up next is someone really, really special. He is an IBM accredited IT consultant, author, speaker, and holds a passion for volunteering. He holds a bachelor's degree in electronics and communication engineering from VTU Karnataka, has completed a course in educational technology from SDSU California, and is currently pursuing a certification course in CXO leadership from Cornell, New York. This GIC learning consultant, strategic planning and implementation, with almost 2 decades of experience, heads the Center for Advanced Studies at IBM India. When not working on his best selling novel, he loves to listen, learn, and lead by example. He is also there to volunteer with purpose. He is a 4-time distinguished Toastmaster and a former champion of table topics. He has served in various leadership roles across various districts, such as District 82, 41, and 124. He has been a club officer 61 times, club sponsor, mentor, coach 47 times, and a district officer 9 times. Please welcome, with a thunderous round of applause, our past District 124 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Ayan Pal on the stage, please.
Thank you so much, Ronak. Thank you so much, everyone. Well, it's now time for a table topics workshop. And today, I'm going to try and tell you how to face, how to ace, and how to race ahead in impromptu speaking. So let's get started with the very beginning. The benefits of impromptu speaking. Now, what I want you to do is we all have to agree to what we are going to do today. So you have to react with a thumbs up sign if you believe the following are benefits of impromptu speaking. Let's get the first one off the table. The first, improve your oral expression of thought. Now, how many of you believe impromptu speaking can help improve your oral expression of thought? All right, Sarojini. Okay, Seema, Babita, Garima. All right, Sanskriti. Wonderful. I can see the reactions there are there. Himanshu. Okay, so many of you believe that impromptu speaking can improve your oral expression of thoughts. That's wonderful, Garima. Thank you for responding. I can see about 65 participants today, and many of you are just raising your physical hands. So you can raise your physical hands or your virtual hands, and we will be able to get that. Okay, more and more people are raising their hands. That's wonderful. So improve your oral expression of thought. We all agree that it improves our oral expression of thought. That's not a bad place to begin. Let's move on to the next one. Help develop your confidence in public speaking. Help develop your confidence in public speaking. And I can see someone being so confident that he or she started speaking right away. Then I'm going to go and speak. But how many of you continue to believe that it helps develop your confidence in public speaking? New names: Divya, Seema, Afsana, Geeti, Sanhita, Sneha, Ananya. That's wonderful. A lot of you believe that impromptu speaking can help develop your confidence in public speaking. Nice. So we are probably on the right track. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Help you think quickly on your feet. Come on, now this is a giver. How many of you agree that it helps us think quickly on our feet? Seema, Divya, Afsana, Akshat, Anshu, Sanhita, Juhi, Sarojini, Babita, Vivek, Ananya, Rohit, Rashmi, who else? Megha, Nirmika, Priyaki, Vikas, everyone. Many of you. I'm not taking names individually. Rupam, it's like sending us like after like after like. I like that. Many of you are also posting in the chat. I think all of it is so very nice, which brings me to the next point. Okay. Now let's see how this one goes. So these three we completely agree with. What about this one? Impromptu speaking can help you develop leadership and communication skills. How many of you agree? Leadership skills? Does it help us develop our leadership skills? Would you agree? I can see Nirmika giving me a big thumbs up with a wonderful smile. Thank you, Nirmika. Anshu giving me two thumbs up. It's like, yes, leader all the way. Priyaki giving me a lot of hearts. Wonderful. Rashmi, Babita, Divya, Anu, and someone else in the yellow t-shirt also giving me a lot of hearts. So lots of things are happening. I think lots of people are reacting. But I'm going to ask you a question. I've been asking you too many questions, but a question which you have to use the chat. Now, don't type. Listen to me carefully. So we are going to see the benefits of impromptu speaking, of course, but there is this statement, help you develop leadership and communication skills. Okay. So my question to you is, listen carefully, do not react now. Who is a leader? Now, if I have a sentence called a leader is someone who has dash. A leader is someone who has dash. What would that be? Don't hit enter. Just type it in the chat. And when I tell you, hit enter. A leader is someone who has dash. Type it in the chat window. And when I say enter, you will hit enter. Okay. A leader is someone who has dash. One word, no Millie, not yet. Let's wait on the sign. So on the count of three, three, two, one, enter. Courage, confidence, passion, army, passion, compassion, strength, communication skills, good communication, personality, ooh, approachability, empathy, confidence, patience, courage, confidence, leadership, communication skills. Oh my goodness, lots and lots of responses. Courage, a leader is someone who has good communication, patience, dynamic, clarity. Well, well, well. Empathy, I think lots of empathy as well. Vision, yes, I think all of these are qualities of good leaders. But a leader is someone who has, and that one word, the clue is what was once Twitter and is now X. A leader is someone who has dash. What is that one word? Come on, you can do better. Of course, many, many right answers. Yes, there are no wrong answers today. But someone says voice. No, not voice. Hamza got it almost right. A leader is someone who has likes. Sort of. A leader is someone who has followers. Can you really lead if there are no followers? Well, I'm not talking about what makes a good leader. Of course, you need vision, you need confidence. A leader can be a good leader, might be a bad leader. But a leader is someone who has followers. And can impromptu speaking help you make someone follow their thoughts, follow their advice? The answer is yes. And that's what thought leadership is all about, where you change thoughts through your leadership. Now, let's take an example of someone who you would follow, ideally,
Yeah.
almost blindly. And see, someone is like, yeah, and just going all out. But yes, we are going to come to that very soon. So think about this one person who you go to and you follow their advice. You actually pay them money to follow their advice, to take their consultation. Who is it? No, Rohit, we don't pay our mentors. So think about it in real life, outside of Toastmasters. Someone you pay to follow their advice. Who is it? Lawyers, chartered accountants, therapists, very close. The answer I'm looking for is a doctor. Yes, Nirmika. Nirmika, I do understand your husband is a doctor. So, of course, I'm hoping your husband also follows you and you also follow your husband. But when we go to a doctor and we are paying and we listen to them. Now, imagine going to a doctor and going, oh, doctor, oof, I've got a sore throat. I've got a horrible running nose. And my head, it's aching. And the doctor goes, Alexa, please tell me the meaning of these symptoms. Will you go to the doctor? I wouldn't. I don't know about you. I would never go there, be it Siri or Alexa, be it iPhone or whatever. I'm not. I would need that person to be confident, to be able to give me something impromptu, to ask me probing questions. Let's take another example. Imagine you are a soldier in a war and you're being attacked by an enemy. And you're like, sir, we are being attacked, sir. What should be our next course of action? And the army general goes, all right, the almanac of how to win a war, page number 1473. Bum. End of story. Catastrophe. Well, you wouldn't want to follow them blindly or even follow them, would you? So the point I'm trying to make is, if you are good at impromptu speaking, to be able to think quickly, think on your feet, have a better expression of thought orally, be more confident when you're speaking, and the ability, of course, as I said, to think quickly, you will be a more effective leader. So, on that note, I'm going to move on to the next slide, because we are going to have a beneficial time if you can follow what I'm saying, and we can together ensure we are better leaders. But in impromptu speaking, a lot of things can go wrong. As you see in this slide, in this picture, the gears are not quite turning right and the person is confused. What am I going to speak about? So, can you share with me on the chat, or you can raise your hand and I will unmute you so that you can speak about some of the things that can go wrong in impromptu speaking, or which you have faced while speaking impromptu? So, let's get the chat. Out of topic, says Babita, you don't know what to speak on. So you have no idea what to speak on. We will try to cover that. Overthinking, said Sanskriti. Not understanding the topic, says Juhi. Losing train of thought, says Sanhita. Going out of topic, says Anshu. Manjula doesn't know when to speak. Anu says she's confused. Organization of ideas, says Nirmika. Out of track, says Ravi. Yes, so many different things, and we're not always sure how to do that. Juhi says nervous. Akshat says fumbling. Rashmi says forgetting the topic. Let's see if any new things are there. Trailing off, says radiatum. Fear of what comes next, says Himangshu. Divya says that it gets a little confusing when you're not listening. Vikas says out of track. Himal says going blank. Ranjana says out of time. Now, to ensure we don't go out of time, I'm going to ask you to pause for a moment, okay? And I'm going to change the topic. So Ankita writes in Hindi, Anita, sorry, writes in Hindi, ghabrana, which means to get worried. Vallabh says no proper knowledge. Nisha says confused. Anshu says nervous. Afsana also says nervousness. Yes, nervousness, where more seems less. Okay. But there is a way by which you can sort this. There is a way by which you can take care of all of this, provided you do the following. Okay. What do you do? Well, it's not very difficult. You have to do this first. So, to ensure that your impromptu speaking can go wrong, you have to first identify what are the reasons. So, there was a research done by Forbes, and some of the reasons for all of these things going wrong was found out. Let's go through them and see how many of you have faced something like that in your lives. So let's start off with the barriers of impromptu speaking. There will be 3 slides. The third one, trust me, is going to be quite a shocker, hopefully, and maybe not, it doesn't matter. But let's see what's the first one. Self-consciousness. How many of you have felt self-consciousness? So, what is it? Self consciousness in front of large groups is probably the most frequently named reason people feel performance anxiety while speaking impromptu. Give me some reactions. How many of you have felt this? Raise your virtual hands. Sanhita, Himangshu, Anu, Anjali, Ananya, Seema, Garima, Krish, Rupam. Yes, very self conscious we are in front of audiences. And then there is fear. Well, what kind of fears do we have? You may fear that you look afraid, even if you aren't actually afraid. Then you may make the leap of illogic and tell yourself that once the audience notices your nervousness, everyone will realize you don't really know your topic. That's terrible, isn't it? In fact, the fear of public speaking is one of the greatest fears in the world. Now, can anyone take a guess? What is the number 2 fear in the world? What is that number 2 thing that people are afraid of all over the world? Take a guess. Put that in the chat window. Akshat says stage fright. Vivek, Rohit says fear of heights. Juhi says fear of heights. No cockroaches, fear of doing mistakes. While Vivek got the right answer first, it's death. And do you know what is number 1 on the list? Glossophobia, also called the fear of public speaking. So you would rather be in the casket than delivering the eulogy. No, no, we are not going to talk about death because today is all about living. So we are going to look at the next thing, past failures. Ever heard about the quote, once bitten, twice shy? Public speaking anxiety is often a learned behavior. You failed at some point in an important or high profile speaking situation, and the seed of doubt was planted. How many of you have faced something like this? That you tried something before in front of audiences? Anshu goes, yes, that was me. Anshu, I'm not going to ask you if your parents made you do a Bollywood number in front of relatives, but it's okay. I can get it. I can get it. It can get very traumatic. But past failures, once bitten, twice shy. How many of you have some past failures? Anu says, yes, me. Neha says, me. And Vikas Agarwal says, me. Garima says, me. You can also use the reactions option and the chat option as well. And of course, there is this discomfort that we all face. Self consciousness soars when you're fearful about speaking in public, and along with that comes extreme body self awareness. And it happens to the men as well as women. It happens to everyone. It happens to children. It happens to adults. Of course, when we are children, probably it's much lesser. But as we keep growing up, you're like, am I looking perfect? Is my belt fine? Is everything fine? Oh my God, what will people say? What will they think? Discomfort. How many of you felt some kind of discomfort, or you've been uncomfortable when you're there on stage trying to speak in public or trying to speak impromptu? Let's get some reactions. Geeti says, yes, brain freeze in front of American classmates. Yes, Geeti, I know it can seem terrible. Nirmika has given me a big thumbs up. Yes, Nirmika, I know, and I can get it from that smile that no matter what, it happens to me as well. There is this discomfort, Anu. And Neha, as she says rightfully, leads to loss of words. But let me tell you something. Do you know that biologically, once we are nervous and once we are excited, our body reacts in the same manner? So you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? So you're like bouncing, you're like sweaty, and your throat feels dry, and your heart is beating loudly. Yes, all of that happens. So what you need to do is make your mind understand that you are excited, not nervous. Again, make your mind understand you are excited and not nervous. And that will do the trick. And there is this one thing that we do not do, which stops us from doing that. And that is our fifth and final barrier to impromptu speaking that I'm going to discuss today. And that barrier is, ta-da-la, poor breathing. Well, public speaking requires a larger reservoir of air, for instance, than breathing for life. Your exhalation needs to be more controlled so that you can sustain vocalized sounds to the ends of phrases where the most important words usually reside. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means you have to learn how to breathe in and breathe out. Now, I do know that there are some people in India who can do that very well. You know, one of them is a very, very popular gentleman called Baba Ramdev. He does something called Kapalbhati, which is like, and he can breathe in and breathe out, and lots of yoga practices. I'm not expecting you to do all of that. All I'm trying to do is remind you that if you breathe in and breathe out, you can calm yourself. You can control yourself. You can be in the moment. You can be grounded, and you can help yourself overcome all the other fears. So, shall we try doing that going forward? Can we try to take a deep breath and calm our mind so that we are in the moment and in the present? Chris says this is so true, and Anita Agarwal says "मैं" as in I. I'm hoping she's trying to say that yes, I will do that. So, can I get some reactions? Can we try doing that? Yes, no, maybe some reactions. Yes, yes, I'm loving it. Lots of reactions. Lots of you, Geeti, Nirmika, Garima, Deep. Many of them. Neha is giving me all hearts. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of things to do. And that's just the first step, understanding what could be the barriers and really realizing that beyond a point it shouldn't matter. If you are in the moment, you will be able to speak impromptu. So how does it work? We are going to discuss this, okay? What happens by which those jumbled thoughts comes up as those bright light bulbs? Seema has raised her hand. Yes, Seema, would you like to add something here? Okay, I think she was just agreeing. So, what's the first thing you have to do to be able to speak impromptu? To be able to get all of these going for you, what's that first thing you have to do to be able to speak impromptu? Any guesses? Let's try the chat option. I know some of you might already be aware. Priyaka is going like, I'm just going to go ninja and give the technique out. Yes, Priyaki, I know that we know. Let's see what happens. Sanskriti is smiling. Let's see if she is smiling with the right answer on her mind. We have to figure out all of that. Okay, the first thing Geeti says is preparation and visualization. Geeti, it's a little difficult to visualize and prepare. I would say actually not to do that because it could be any topic. And if you're trying to visualize, you may be visualizing about something else can get more difficult. It's better, in fact, to have no thoughts and a blank slate. Anu says take a few moments, yes, and after that, what do you do? Krish says read more content, definitely before, but just before speaking impromptu. Someone says smile. Someone says brainstorm. Charmaine, how can you brainstorm if you don't know what the topic is going to be? Someone, Sneha says smile before starting the speech and make eye contact with everyone. Yes, smiling and eye contact is important. Vikas says you think before you think. Stay calm. Someone says practice, practice, practice. Mm, just think about the topic and then start. Someone says fake it till you make it or something. I like that. Believe we can do it. Smile calmly and read the topic. Just one thing. Okay, everyone. Okay, let's pay attention. Just one thing. Chris says, do an icebreaker. Power poses and deep breath. Yes, Mohit. Power poses are also very helpful. I've not covered it today. Breathe. No, no, no. Before all of these. Anita Agarwal writes in Hindi, practice. Yes, of course, practice makes perfect. To be able to, and now I think Priyaki, all of you can jump in. To be able to speak impromptu, what's the first thing that you need to do? Muskan says, go on stage, right, Muskan? Yes, you are on stage. Afsana says, let the audience believe you got everything under control. Yes, you do that in your preparation. Yes. Samhita says, think. Before you think, you do something. Priyaki says, pause and listen. And Priyaki gets it right and educated to the rescue. Can we have a round of applause for Priyaki? The first thing that you do to be able to speak impromptu is this: listen. We have one mouth and two ears so that you can listen twice as much as you speak. Nirmika also got it right. Ranjana also got it right. And Juhi was all claps. Yes, the first thing we have to do is listen. Now, why really? I'm going to now ask one of you to volunteer. Okay, very simple. Someone who believes who have good listening skills will now speak on a topic on the spot. Let's see who raises their hands. I'm looking at my other screen here to ensure I'm not missing anyone. Sanhita has raised hand. Sanhita Brajabashi from Inspiria Toastmasters. Can we have Sanhita spotlighted, please? It's going to be fun. Everyone, let's pay attention and let's give Sanhita the time to do what Sanhita needs to do. So Sanhita, can we have a quick check? Afsana, I know you have also raised your hand. I'm going to come to you in a while. Akshat has also raised. So Sanhita, were you raising your hands to speak? Yeah, I can't hear you. You're probably on mute. Akshat, Afsana, and Sanhita have raised their hands. Sanhita, can you repeat after me? Today is a great day to speak impromptu. Okay, you're on mute. Sanhita, can you unmute yourself? And I'm going to spotlight you right now. Let me see. Okay, I have spotlighted you. Everyone should be able to see Sanhita clearly. So while Sanhita gets ready, let me tell you, a good response is dependent on an attentive attitude, and careful listening can provide a key part of your response. Okay, we are going to demonstrate that. Sanhita, is it working? Can you try repeating after me? No, nothing. At least I can't hear. So her mic is not working. Sanhita, we are going to come back to you a little later. Keep smiling beautifully. Akshat from Inspiria Knowledge Campus. Akshat is looking somewhere else and smiling away to glory. Akshat, can we check your mic, please?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
You are audible, and my dear friend, you're visible as well. Wonderful interacting with you.
Yes, sir.
Let me spotlight you. Yes, you have been spotlighted. Everything is doing great. And Akshat, repeat after me, and maybe you can turn to the camera. You may have two devices. Ah, perfect. Repeat after me. Today is a great day to speak impromptu.
Today is a great day to speak impromptu.
Wonderful. Are you ready, Akshat? Are we all ready?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, everyone else, let's be on mute. Akshat, I will be introducing the topic to you the way we do in a table topics contest at Toastmasters.
Yes,
So
sir.
your speaker position, which is number one, followed by speaker name, followed by speech title, then speaker name, speaker position. Okay. Contestant number one, Akshat. Where there is a will, there are relatives. Where there is a will, there are relatives. Akshat, contestant number one.
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, we've heard of the quotation as from our old childhood stories, where there's a will, there's a way, right? But this time we are going to take an alternative take on that. Where there's a will, there are relatives. Well, relatives here can be of different contexts. Relatives like as in our uncles and aunties and cousins, or relatives as in like relative ways, or like synonymous ways of particularly doing something. So if I have to give in two contexts, I would first off go with the family side of relatives. If there's a will, we can also have good relatives in our family, not so particularly good ones that we properly interact with. So with the good relatives, we can also seek their advice, take some help from them if we are in a bit of a pickle for something. So like if our mothers and fathers are away for their work, for the NGO stuffs of out shopping, and if we are staying with our grandparents or uncles or aunties, let's say we are having some trouble while trying to make lunch for ourselves. We accidentally keep the stove too much on high, and then we are prone of burning the whole house down. So that way we immediately rush to our uncles and aunties for help, like, uncle, please, the stove is too hot. Like, what do I do? And they're like, calm down, I'll handle it. So there's several opportunities in how we can take care of different situations. Sometimes if your parents aren't available to help you out, sometimes you have to take care of situations yourselves, or sometimes you have to take your cousins or your uncles and aunties. That was the first context. And while on the second, if I have to take synonymous ways, see, there are different ways that we can get solutions for several problems. Several problems, as in, now, what if you have an assignment due and it's already like you have to give it tomorrow, and then you just realize it in the middle of the night? You have several options. What if you can pull an all-nighter and then try to do that assignment and get your sound sleep or not so sound sleep? Or you take a sound sleep right now, wake up quickly around 5 to 6 a.m., immediately become a risk runner and get that assignment done and submit it. There are several ways on how you can do that, those two being the main options at what every student in a university does. So, well, by saying that, we can say that if you have the willpower enough to get that situation done, where there's a will, there are relatives. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Akshat. Can we have a huge round of applause? Yay! Digital as well as physical for Akshat from Inspiria Knowledge Campus and Inspiria Toastmasters class, of course. Okay. Now, how many of you think Akshat did a great job? Can I have some reactions? Reactions for Akshat's speech. Okay, I think lots of reactions, lots of hearts. Akshat, you're quite the star. But now listen carefully. Akshat himself admitted, and Akshat was thinking, Akshat, be honest. Were you thinking about the proverb, where there is a will, there is a way? That's
Eh,
what you spoke about, isn't it?
Yes, so that's the
Yes,
first thing that came in my mind.
that's the first thing that came in mind. But the topic was, where there is a will, there are relatives.
Yes,
The
sir.
will we are talking about is the will you leave behind when you die, by which people will know, the relatives will know who's getting the big house and who's getting the car and who's getting all the jewelry. So that's the topic. And this is something I wanted to demonstrate, that sometimes we tend to try to guess what the topic is. So when you heard where there is a will, your mind is always already going, there is a way, there is a way. And you spoke about that, where you talked about relatives, like various factors and your family and so on and so forth. While you spoke very well, Akshat, this was not the full interpretation of the topic, which is why I'm going to say, hence proved. and remind you that a good response is dependent on an attentive attitude, and careful listening can provide a key part of your response. But of course, Akshat, sorry, you were quite the decoy, and you fell for that. But can we have a round of applause once again? Akshat spoke so well. Wonderful voice modulation, wonderful smile, lots of eye contact with the audience. But, well, you have to understand that there are other things to do too. So if you agree, your reply will reflect your attention by reinforcing the other person's words. If you disagree, you can tactfully amend or correct the original statement. And this also helps to sharpen your powers of concentration, Akshat, because you become an effective speaker. What I want you to do is learn from Akshat. Don't interject your own ideas before the other person has finished. Instead, focus on what is being said. And that is our first tip. So let's quickly move on to the second tip. Watch out and pause. The eyes have it. No, this is not a ballot counting. The eyes, we also have two eyes. So we have to watch out and pause, do two things. So watch out for audience response to see if you're on the right track. Pausing before you speak allows you to refresh your thoughts and formulate an answer. Use pause to as drama, allow the audience to absorb your message or give them the opportunity to respond to humor. Let's take an example of how a pause can add humor. Would any of you give me a sentence where a pause, based on where you're pausing, can probably change the meaning of the sentence and make it funnier? Anyone? Okay, I think people are still waiting. I'm going to give you one idea, okay? Imagine someone saying, "Let's eat, grandma." So you're calling the grandma to eat, compared to someone saying, "Let's eat, grandma." The big back wolf from Red Riding Hood, maybe? Or let's take another sentence which is so relevant in today's times and especially in India. Now let's see what is the meaning of the sentence, okay? I'm going to post it in the chat so that you know exactly what I mean. So I'm going to do that. Give me a moment. Da-da-da. On your chat right now. A woman, without her, man is nothing. One meaning. A woman without her man is nothing. Think again. A woman without her man is nothing. Second, a woman without her man is nothing. Yes, Divya, you want to say something? Siliguri Queens, a club for all women, and we have Divya Kalyani, right? Divya Kalyani speaking. Yes, Divya.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
You just now told about the sentence has different meanings. So the sentence you have given us, a woman without her man is nothing. So we have different perspective of these sentences, and it depends on the person who is thinking about this sentence in a different way. It may be a woman without her man, comma, is nothing, where the woman is totally dependent on men. And the other sentence may be a woman, comma, without her man is nothing, where the woman feels that without her man, she is nothing in this world. So there are different perspective of the sentence you said just now to make us understand about the table topic, that we also have to look upon how the people are giving you topic, where are the pauses and where are the commas. So we have to understand the full sentence.
Thank you so much, Divya. And also how you want to say that, right? Where you use the pause. So if you pause after woman, a woman without her, man is nothing. Means without a woman, a man is nothing. And if you pause after that, a woman without her man, pause, is nothing. There are two very different sentences. And I hope we all know what the right one is. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to ask Priyaki, who has raised her hand, to add her viewpoint to this topic. Yes, Priyaki. You are still on mute and now you're unmuted. Yes.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. So, my take on this sentence would be like this: a woman without her man is nothing.
I know, and I completely agree with you, Priyaki. I think we all need each other. A woman needs her man, and a man needs her woman. And we also need to look at the next point, which is a silent pause is preferable to using verbal placeholders like like, actually, basically, etc., etc. So let's do all of that. Let's use pauses effectively, and let's watch out for audience response. With that, I'm going to come to the next tip. For the sake of the good Lord, tell. Be enthusiastic, but stay focused and stick to the essentials. Don't give in to the urge to analyze every aspect of the topic. And then end. What do? Well, once you have said what you want to say, do not belabor the point. Just stop like this. Bring your points to a close, emphasize your main points, smile and make eye contact with your with your listener if possible. And then we move on to the next. So I'm going to once again come here, tell. So what does the second line mean? Why is it so important to not give in to the urge to analyze every aspect of the topic? Can any of you give me an example? Maybe I'll give you a topic, okay? Now, this was the topic that was asked to me, given to me during my district championship. When I went for the district level table topics, and I actually became a district champion a few years back. And the topic that was given to me is going to be on the chat. Let me type it as well. Okay, and the topic is as follows. It's better to sweat in peace than to bleed at war. It's better to sweat in peace than to bleed at war. Can you paraphrase or rephrase this topic to make it shorter? What is the meaning of this topic? It's better to sweat in peace than to bleed at war. Anyone? You can just put it in the chat window. Does it remind you of something? Yes, Divya. Divya Kalyani has raised her hand from Siliguri, Queens. Muskan says prefer peace over war. Okay. Manjuli says do the essentials at the beginning only. Yes, Divya, what do you have to say?
It's better to sweat in peace than to bleed at war. Means sometimes we don't want to get involved in some of the authentic problems going around the world because we prefer to live in peace instead of getting indulged in all these kind of activities.
Okay, I think that's a very good take, but Divya, I want you to make it shorter. You just made it even longer. So how do you make it shorter? So someone says avoid war at all cost. Giti, of course, refers to Mahatma Gandhi.
Better to
Gandhiji's
avoid.
non-violence. Better to avoid. Okay. Neha says mental peace is more important than chaos. Babita says if any argument can be solved by peace, that can be better instead to speak on. Again, see what is happening, Divya, and let me listen to Afsana as well. Afsana, would you like to add something? You've raised your hand. Krish says mind one's business. Yes, Krish, we all need to do that. Be at peace at war. A simple statement. Does it remind you of any proverb? Any proverb? Is it coming from any proverb?
Hello, Toastmaster.
Yes,
One second. Afsana, is Afsana speaking? Afsana?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes, go on,
Toastmaster.
Afsana. Yeah.
What I felt, what I thought about this topic is better to sweat in peace than bleed at war. Sweating is also like flowing something from our body, and bleeding is also flowing the blood from our body. So it's kind of common, and it's the same that we should be content with what we have at first, then we go for something that is basically needed.
Okay, so Afsana, you too have done exactly what we do. You made the topic longer. So when you get a topic like
Sorry,
that,
sir.
do not give in to the urge to analyze every aspect, like blood and water are both flowing, etc. Just think, is this coming from a proverb? And the proverb this topic has come from is success is sweet, its secret is sweat, or practice makes perfect. I think someone gave that. Practice makes a man perfect. Nidhi Jalan said that. Yes. Juhi Agarwal said that practice makes a man perfect. Ravi says precaution is better than cure. Yes, these are the proverbs. So try to understand what is the meaning of the topic. Even Priyaki got it right. I love it. Make love, not war. Priyaki is just all over that love is all we need. Can we have some hearts for Priyaki? Yes. I think we all need to have more love in our hearts, right? So that's what it is. But understand that do not um, try to analyze every word in that topic. Try to understand what the topic means, like practice makes perfect, or prevention is better than cure, or make love not war, or whatever is your interpretation, and speak on that aspect. So that was the tell part, and of course I have shared with you the other part as well, that once you have said what you have said, do not belabor, that is, don't go on and on. And then this one. Now I need a volunteer for this. Okay, someone I don't know, or someone who doesn't know me. I mean, I know many of you. Someone who doesn't know me, I'm going to try something. Bring your comments to a close, emphasize your main point, smile, and make eye contact with your listener if possible. I'm going to highlight you. Someone nominate yourself. Anyone. Otherwise, I'm going to choose, okay? Come on, let's try this. Okay, I'm not going to have any reasons. Anyone can be here. I'm going to have eye contact with you. I'm going to demonstrate something. Maybe Priyaki. Yes, Priyaki says yes. All right. I'm going to spotlight Priyaki. Just a moment. Yep, Priyaki has been spotlighted, which is amazing. Hi, Priyaki. How are you doing today? I hope all is well. It's been such a wonderful day, Priyaki. Don't you think? It's been such a lovely evening. How are you feeling right now? You know?
Much better.
Yes, yes. No, but eye contact is so important. And smiling is so important. No,
So
it's
I'm looking
not.
at the camera, sir, but I can't see you if I stare at the camera.
But you know what? I mean, first of all, can we have a round of applause for Priyaki for being so sweet? So eye contact is important, but it's very difficult, of course, in a digital medium. So try to focus on the camera, but not too close, and not look at people directly. So if you are in a physical environment, use the torchlight effect. Okay. So what's that? If you were holding a flashlight in your hand or a torchlight and you move it like this all around, yeah, you do that. So that is the effect. You have to look at people like that. Try to maintain eye contact with different people, short duration. Don't try to stare them into the eyes, especially if you're a man and they are women. They may feel uncomfortable, right, Priyaki? Of course, Priyaki is a friend, so I hope she will not mind, right? Yes, I think that's a big no. Thank you, Priyaki, for not minding at all. And of course, smile at the right time. Don't smile saying, the other day my mother-in-law passed away. Even if you're happy, don't. It's not the right thing to say. And this has no other meaning. Okay. I love my mother-in-law. My wife is gonna kill me. Is she here? I don't know. I think I'm finished already. All right. So tip 4 is end, and that brings me to tip 5. A very important thing: analyze the level. Now, I've told you how to face impromptu speaking. Now it's time to help you ace impromptu speaking. If you do all the things I've just now told you, you will be able to race ahead in impromptu speaking. So remember how to face, race ahead, and ace impromptu speaking. So now the third part comes. So let's see the first one. Okay, so there are 3 light bulbs. The first one, what does it mean? So there is very little light, as in your light bulb is not glowing. Means it's a very difficult topic. So for you, it's a difficult topic. The middle one, it's half here, half there. So it's a medium topic for you. And the third one is a very easy topic. You can easily speak on the topic. Okay, so what do you do? So even if you don't know anything, like many of you are telling to be better at impromptu, you need to prepare. So ideally, you should be practicing impromptu speaking, going out there, overcoming your fear, deep breath, all of those things, and you're more comfortable. But still, you may get a topic you know nothing about. So what do? You should have a mentality which says challenge accepted. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate this. Okay. So this is a cow in India, and I only know about a cow. Okay. A cow has 4 legs, gives milk, and eats grass. Now I'm challenging you to give me a topic, a difficult topic, which has nothing to do with a cow. And because I've only learned and practiced and prepared on this one topic, somehow I'm going to speak about a cow. Okay. Challenge accepted. Let's have it in the chat. Some topic. Okay, come on. That has nothing to do with a cow. A difficult topic, not an easy topic. Make it as difficult as possible. It has to be like a proper sentence, a topic, not words. Not words. So Muskan says consistency is the key to success. It's a very easy topic. Okay, so someone says Lalu Yadav and his administration. So we all know about Lalu Yadav, who's a politician, and his administration and the fodder scam. So that is so easy. You can easily speak about the cow. Rashmi says, don't judge a book by its cover. It's a very easy topic. So give me a difficult topic on which you cannot say anything. Like you're completely like, how am I going to speak on this topic? Discovery of New World in 1492. Okay, wow. So let's try this. Okay, Safal Chetri says discovery of New World in 1492. Well, ladies and gentlemen, irrespective of whether you're Christopher Columbus or someone else, if you go around trying to discover a new world, you are 9 out of 10 times most likely to encounter in a meadow a cow. Yes, that majestic animal that has 4 legs, eats grass and gives milk. And if you encounter that cow, you would know, oh my God, I'm in the right place. There must be some people nearby to milk that cow. And now I can milk the opportunity. Or you can just follow the cow and do nothing. Yeah, why waste your time discovering new worlds? Just be in your own world. The cow is least bothered about discovering any new world. The cow is always grazing in the same place and going. And of course, if you learn from a cow, you will understand that the cow is the biggest producer of methane gas. There is no world left, new year old, because the cow has already found it and the cow has already taken over it. What are you doing? The cow came much earlier. So give up on the idea of discovering a new world, be it 1492 or 2024, because no matter where you go, a cow is most likely to be there. And the cow will say, moo, and you should move on to the next world. So that's an example. Even if you have no idea, you can make it funny, you can make it relatable by not talking about a cow, but talking about something that you already know. And Vivek has given me a topic, how to end war between Russia and Ukraine. I know it's a very heavy topic. How to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are wondering how to make life better and bring peace and end the war between Russia and Ukraine, all I want you to do is to focus on the one and only holy cow. Yes, the holy cow, holy to many, many, many people in India and to Hindus all around the world, is that animal that gives milk, eats grass, has 4 legs, 1 tail, and a cow is useful in all its ways, just like the war. To some people, the war is useful because we get to know who are your friends and who are your enemies. And in the same way, a cow is useful because a cow helps you understand who are your friends. In fact, no one is a friend of the cow because everyone is trying to milk the cow. And if you really think about it, the only one who should have that milk is the calf and not us humans who are trying to milk the opportunity. In the same way, to end the war between Russia and Ukraine, you have to find out who these opportunists are. And unlike the cow, which eats cud and does nothing, you have to do something about it. You have to move out and find greener pastures and try to find peace. And you don't have to look far than a cow, which, trust me, is always at peace. I've never seen a cow not being at peace. So if you want to ensure that there is no war between Russia and Ukraine and anywhere else for that matter, and we can celebrate the cows in those countries, stop milking opportunities as we do with the cow. Let it graze in its own land. A cow doesn't have boundaries. A cow can go anywhere and graze anywhere. So we humans should stop about boundaries and think more about humanity. And maybe the war between any two countries, including Russia and Ukraine, can end as well. So that was me knowing nothing and using a cow as an example. So say challenge accepted and do that if it's a very, very difficult topic. Yes, anything you can say something like that. Now let's go back to a medium topic. So what would you do for a medium topic? Now, again, let me clarify. I'm not asking you to speak just about a cow. I'm asking you to speak on anything that you can do so that you know how things are. But if you get a medium topic, what would you do? So the best thing to do would obviously be to try and ensure you get your personal examples. Another thing that works very well is pop culture references. We have been spending about 50 minutes now in this. And what are the pop culture references? If I tell you about a leader you're inspired by, who would you speak of? Give me an example. Write it in the chat section. A leader that you're inspired by. How many of you would probably think of, say, Mahatma Gandhi? Maybe we are, maybe we are not. But the best example is probably the safest example is a personal example. The leader I'm inspired by is my mom, is my dad. I don't know, something like that. Personal, you can't go wrong. If I tell you, can you talk about a sports person who is successful after going through a lot of obstacles? Think a sports person who's successful despite going through a lot of obstacles. And Akshat says Lewis Hamilton, very good. Rohit says Cristiano Ronaldo, etc., etc. So a lot of us will talk about footballers and cricketers. But if you can bring in other unique examples, so for example, you're doing a table topic probably in India. What about Mary Kom, 7-time world champion, a woman who had to balance motherhood and social norms and had to carry gas cylinders from one place to another? Isn't that a better example? The answer is yes. So do that. Bring in a personal examples and pop culture references which are slightly different. Don't think about the first name that comes to mind. No Messi, no Ronaldo, no Sachin Tendulkar, no Virat Kohli, no MS Dhoni. Okay, slightly different examples. I think a beautiful example right now is Fogart, as Muskan says, the Olympian who almost won a gold or a silver and made everyone proud, but she lost by just a whisker, by being less than 1 kg overweight, 500 grams, I believe. So understand and say things that are different. And of course, the last one, if it's a very easy topic, if the bulb is glowing, try to say challenge accepted again and ensure that you have a different view on the topic. Okay. So for example, if you believe there is a topic that everyone will agree with, try to disagree, bringing in a different flavor. So can you give me a topic like that very quickly, okay, that everyone might or might not, like you feel everyone has the same opinion. So a topic that you feel no one will disagree with. Can I have it in the chat? Something like very scientific, maybe, something very basic. No one will say, that's an obvious. So someone says, what is this? The sun rises in the east. Oh my God. Okay, Ronak, the sun rises in the east. How many of you agree that, yes, the sun rises in the east? And yeah, you can just very easily disagree to that, right? You can say the sun doesn't rise in the east. The sun is stationary and the earth revolves around the sun and it rotates on an axis. So we have seasons and we have day and night, right? Something like that. What are the reason? Manjuri says you can lead the horse to water, but not make him drink. Again, it's not an easy topic. So it has to be something very easy that even a school child can speak about. So you can lead to a horse to the water, but cannot make him drink. A lot of people believe that you can lead a horse to the water, but not make him drink. I disagree. Have you seen how people walk with horses and they have been walking? The horse has no other idea but to drink, eat, do whatever the owner says, because the horse, unfortunately, is under the control of the owner. So you can differentiate in that way. Okay. So whatever topic, now give me a topic which is very, very difficult to disagree with. Shif Safal says, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Ladies and gentlemen, we have always heard about the proverb, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I would say, hello, an apple in its seed has cyanide. The more you have apple, you will die probably. And of course, think about the depletion of your wealth. Do you know what an apple costs nowadays? Oh my God, I would rather go hungry than to eat an apple every day. And if you go to the doctor, finally, he's going to give you that same apple and say, please have some and give me my fees. An apple a day doesn't keep anything away. The only thing that keeps the doctor away is healthy exercise and healthy food. It can be fruit, it can be vegetables. You can kind of disagree like that. So try to come up with different ways of agreeing and disagreeing. and say challenge accepted. And remember these top 3 things. Be confident. Remind yourself that pausing is okay, and restating the question will help you steady your response. Be brief. It is easy to stray off topic and begin repeating statements, adding new points or backtracking. Stick to your main points and be sincere. Trying to be inventive when you don't know the answer to a question can be risky. It is better that you admit if you don't know how to respond. So that is all I have. I have been taking some of these questions and responding to you over chat, but if you still have any questions, please do let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for lending me a patient ear. I hope from your hearts can soon be abolished any fear, and to the stage you will bring yourself very, very near. And we will all watch that and heartily cheer. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. But if you have a question, do let me know. I see Priyaki having raised her hand. I'm going to take the first question from Priyaki and then move on to Akshat. Yes, Priyaki.
Sir, I was very curious to know, in a table topic, are we expected to actually summarize? I just cannot wait. How can you remember what you said? So I would like some clarity on that, sir, from the expert.
Yes. So I believe, Priyaki, a table topic, if you can bring opening, body, and conclusion, it's great. Has to be a conclusion, need not be a summary. So I think that's the difference. Evaluation should have a summary. A table topic should have a conclusion. So that's the difference. Thank you. Akshat, in my opinion, though, this is all my personal opinion. Akshat, what's your question?
So, regarding table topics, so we do know that we have to impromptu speak. That's obvious information. So, I just wanted to have some tips regarding, like, if we actually,
Yes, Vivek, I know he's asking a great question. But yes, Akshat, continue.
so as I was saying, thank you, sir. So as I was saying, if we tend to get way too much invested in the topic, we may start to speak faster, and that way we might fumble. So are there any preventive measures we could have a mental note of in order to not fumble that way?
Remember?
Yes, sir. Pauses and deep breaths.
Pauses,
That
breathe in,
too.
breathe out, and understand that the audience wants you to succeed, Akshat. No one wants you to fail. They are there, they've spent their time and energy to be there to see you to succeed. They want you to succeed. So you should think that they're your friend. Remember, we are not nervous, we are excited. We are watching that football match, that cricket match together. So we are all in this together. So that kind of positive attitude will definitely help, Akshat.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that's all the time we have. Of course, you have all the time to do more, but now I would like to hand it to the host division director, Muskan Kandoy. Over to you, Muskan.
Thank you, sir. Can we have a round of applause for Ayan, sir? Amazing. Did you all enjoy and get upskilled today?
Yes.
Yes? Amazing. I see 76 of you present today, and that's a huge number. And it kept on increasing, and we reached almost to the number of 84. That shows how interested you were. I would request all of you to drop in your quick feedbacks on the chat. And if someone would like to speak, please do raise your hand. Wow. We have wonderful feedback. Learning made fun, great learning, interesting, very informative and interesting. A, which is awesome. So, answer, we are all hearts here, and everyone enjoyed the session. I'm sure they have a lot of questions. If you have questions, we will send a Google form. You can list all your questions there, and we will definitely connect with Answer offline, and we can take all of those questions 100%. With this, Answer, thank you so much for being a part of Division A's first online workshop for this year. And I'm sure they had so much to learn today, and this will definitely motivate them to join the upcoming workshops that we have lined up. Sir, would you like to say anything before we end today?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I know many of you have many other questions. Feel free to reach out to me after this. And unofficially, if we can, we will take some questions as well. But I think the most important part about impromptu speaking is the curiosity that you have within you to interpret topics in different ways, to be out there on stage, to want to listen so that you can learn and you can lead. So if you have that attitude, all of you will be able to do even better, much better than wherever you are right now. So have an attitude of gratitude towards the opportunity of speaking impromptu and say challenge accepted.
Thank you. Thank you so much.